Tony D and Little Jones asleep on the couch, and this is a screenwriter's bonus video because I messed up, and I'll explain why. It's a movie starring Anna Kendrick called Alice Darling. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 10. Yeah, apparently I already reviewed the trailer for Dead Island 2, and I probably said the same exact thing. That was back in August. I didn't remember it, so I forgot. I sometimes check these things. I forgot to check. So I'm doing another bonus video. So this is, I guess you'd call this a drama, but kind of a thriller. And the premise is Anna Kendrick is a woman who is in a relationship with a guy who's really possessive. And so her friends, for her birthday, decide to take her away for the weekend. But rather than tell him, she lies because she doesn't think he can give her permission or whatever, because he's really, really creepy. And then, of course, they go away and he figures it out because she's like sending him pictures and whatever. And then eventually he shows up to the cabin, and the girlfriends can see the problem. And he is really creepy, but it doesn't really give you the sense of, like, does she kill him or does she just break up with him? See, it says this, sometimes the hardest thing to see is the truth. Yeah, so it's clear, like, he's bad for her. So I guess it's a drama because it doesn't go that far. And eventually, I don't know, she tells him to F off. It's hard to tell. It's in theaters in January. Let's see. Let's see if it gives us a bit of a write-up here. Alice Darling, exclusively in LA theaters on December 30th, expands nationally on the 20th, starring Anna Kendrick, blah, 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 directed by Mary Nye. She related to Bill. Written by Alana Francis. Okay. Oh, here it is. In the taut thriller. Okay, it's a thriller then. Alice Darling, Oscar nominee Anna Kendrick. She was Best Supporting Actress in Up in the Air, 2009. Did I see that movie? I think I did. Stars as a young woman pushed to the breaking point by her psychologically abusive boyfriend, Simon. While on vacation with two close girlfriends, Alice rediscovers the essence of herself and gains some much-needed perspective. Slowly, she starts to fray the cords of codependency that bind her, but Simon's vengeance is inevitable as it is shattering, and once unleashed, it tests Alice's strength, her courage, and the bonds of her deep-rooted friendships. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't quite show you that in the trailer, though. Like, it kind of comes right up to the line. The only thing that, I guess it's supposed to be a big surprise, but it's kind of not. But we could have used, like, one scene where he kind of crosses a line here. Other than the fact that he's creepy, they don't show you anything. And he says stuff to her that it's a little weird. Then they also show you this girl missing. I don't know if he made her disappear or whatever. So what I assume is once Simon realizes she's going to leave him, he snaps and then tries to kill her. She's like literally pulling out her hair in the bathroom over this. So it does look like a good, drama for Anna Kendrick. And there are guys like this. It's not like there aren't guys like this. They just get too possessive. He's got more of a serial killer vibe than a possessive guy. Because I think those possessive guys, they tend to be pretty overt. when you talk about two-dimensional characters, I think a lot of those guys, they are, and I've seen a couple of them, they are, they don't make any bones about it. It's a fine line, too, between wanting to protect your woman and completely dominating every second of her life. It's bizarre in a lot of ways. So, but this looks good. I mean, for an indie film like this, you got an attractive lead. She seems to be actually doing some acting. I kind of prefer Anna in lighter fare, but this looks all right. So first act, it's going to be the girls meet for lunch, and she's already at the point in their relationship where she's starting to drift away from her friends, right? Because he's just consuming her time. I think they're being very clever about it, though, in the movie. Like, because he's not being very overt, he just sort of keeps saying things that pull her that way. Like, well, I mean, why? Not even passive aggressive, more like, he's always got an answer for her why she should spend more time with him, I guess. Just basically doing stuff for him, I guess. Anyhow, so they have this lunch or whatever for her birthday, and they say, oh, we got a surprise. We want to take you away for the weekend. And she kind of can't say no. And that's partly probably because her personality, but also, too, because she's been sort of broken down by her, as they call it, a codependent relationship. She's kind of weak to begin with, kind of can't say no to anybody at this point. So she kind of agrees to go, but then lies to Simon about it. And that's the first act. Second act, they go away for the weekend. She's trying to relax, and they have a little success, but she's also nervous that Simon's going to figure it out because he's constantly calling and texting, and she has to sort of keep up appearances with him via the phone. And then just as it seems she's going to relax and maybe even grow a spine to talk about her relationship with Simon, with the girlfriend she has, Simon figures out she lied, and then, she just loses it because now Simon's on his way. And, and and she's freaking out. And at first, I think she plans to go back to the city or whatever. But by then, it's too late. Like, Simon's on his way, or he's there. And so he shows up, and she puts on a good face, and then he pretends like, oh, it doesn't bother me. I just wish you had told me. And now he's going to stay there. And then, of course, when he gets her alone, he's sort of playing this game like, why'd you lie to me kind of thing. Then the third act is the tension sort of boils over, and she finally sort of breaks it off with him, and then he goes nuts. Probably. I'm guessing. Because it's a thriller. It's billed as a thriller, so he probably does do something extreme at the end of the movie. It would be, I think, a better movie if he didn't do anything like extreme, like try to kill her or hit her or anything. I think it would be better if, like, and maybe this is the case because they don't show anything. Maybe the more interesting moment would be a back and forth between the characters where he's trying to psychologically do the equivalent of cutting her down, or not killing her, but like the psychological equivalent of destroying her enough so she comes back. And he comes close, but in the end, because of her strength, her inner strength, she overcomes. But that would be much harder to write. I'm not sensing that's the case. Feels like it's going to be a bit of a back and forth where there's an actual physical fight. The girls have to, do something to him. Maybe kill him. I don't know. I don't think they kill him. I think that would be too much. But it is an indie movie. So maybe And when I say indie, like a Hollywood indie movie, it's not a real indie movie because it's got Anna Kendrick in it and looks pretty well produced. Um, Lionsgate. I have a few shares of Lionsgate, by the way. Um, but it looks all right. I mean, if you like this kind of thriller, I mean, this feels like something would skew female, but it wouldn't be totally unwatchable for guys. It'd be an intense movie, psychologically speaking, and you know, I, I think it could be good. I think it could be good. The elements are there. The elements are there. If it's not, and it doesn't seem to be two dimensional. Like it's not an all men thing. It just seems to be these particular characters. So unless they sort of branch into that, then and I think that would be hard to do and stupid and counterproductive to the movie. So I don't think it's that I think it's just a thriller with a psycho, and the psycho happens to be the guy. Um, so this could be good. I mean, the only downside to it is they're releasing it at the worst possible time. So they're going to do a limited release in LA on the 30th. Who the hell's going to go to a movie on December 30th, like the day before New Year's? It's kind of a tough sell in LA, where everybody can go to movies all the time. And then it opens in January. Tough time. For a thriller, though, in January, I guess it's not at the worst time you could release it. It's not a good sign they're releasing it then, except, the idea of a January, February release is you hope that people are looking for a movie and there's nothing really out, and they end up, and yours sort of rises to the top. And then, you can say something like if this just hits just a little bit in January, it doesn't have to make much money to be at the top of the list in January. And then you can say, oh, the top movie of January or the top movie of 2023 is Alice Darling. And then that can generate a lot of buzz, and then people, you get a wider release, or people just go, oh, maybe I'll go see that movie, and they go out to see it. That at least used to be the formula. I don't know so much anymore after the pandemic. It may, because the box office is in such rough shape right now, it may just come and go. People may just look at it like I think a lot of people look at movies these days, and they'll go, I can wait for that. Yeah, I'll wait for that to hit VOD. And studios aren't wasting a lot of time either, so they're just if this doesn't hit in a month, by February they'll be like, all right, yank it, we'll put something else in there and put this on our stream. So and it's also not a movie you necessarily need to go to the movies for. I mean, they are in a cabin somewhere, so there might be some outside shots, and that's kind of worth it, but for the most of the movie, it's it's a little more than a stage play. Yeah, I mean, they do have nice shots, but it's not like you can't go outside and see this stuff somewhere. Here are some guys looking for a missing person, so I don't know how that factors into the movie. I just realized what that was. At first I was like, are they playing a game or something? No, these guys are like searching the weeds for a missing person. So are they searching for her, or are they searching for him after she's killed him, or is it a flashback to the other girl that was missing? I think the laziest conclusion would be that he killed his previous girlfriend and now he's going to kill her. And then they end up defending her and like killing him in the process, or at the very least, injuring him so horribly he goes to prison. But because they call the police after that rather than finish him off. So I think it can be decent. Personally, I'm not super into these movies. Rarely I do get into sort of thriller mode. This was more of a movie I'd see back in the 90s, just because I was seeing a lot of movies back then. These days, for me, this would totally be a rental unless people were raving about it. Then I might go see it. Or if I got in a movie mode again and was just seeing everything. So I think it could be pretty decent. Yeah. It might be okay. I mean, I wouldn't expect a huge revelation here, but you know, I think it could hit with the women who have been in relationships like this, and as long as it's not too cartoony. If they go that down, I mean, if he gets really crazily cartoony, that could hurt it. You know, it has to. It looks like they're trying to make him as, you know, palatable as possible. Just like keep making him creepy, not necessarily insane. But again, I think those guys come off. The guys that I've known who are like that are sort of more overt about that. And yeah, they're possessive and they're pretty outspoken about being possessive. They're fine with that. So, Alice Darling, if you're in LA and you've got nothing to do on the 30th, apparently it'll be out then. And then in wider release in January 20th. So, hey, you could do a lot worse. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan asleep on the couch. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the double take, and we'll see you